The African People's Convention Party launched its election manifesto in Mninginisi village outside Giyani on Saturday. The party was formed in 2007, but in the 2009 and 2014 elections, it only managed to secure one seat in the National Assembly. For more on the party and what it's promising South Africans, I'm joined by its lone MP and the party's president, Themba Godi. Good evening, sir. Thanks very much for your time. It's quite interesting that right at the beginning, for a good few pages of first few pages of your manifesto, you talk about Pan-Africanism and socialism and so on. And one wonders whether that should be, what you sort of immediately put forward. You don't think that the world perhaps has gotten over isms, really, and people want to talk about, your clear position on jobs, on the economy, education, health, and so on?
Well, look, as the APC, we still firmly believe that politics should still be grounded and guided. And it is very important that a party should have a very firm and clear philosophical or ideological base, so that by the time you go and talk on issues and how you want to tackle them, then you know that there is a very clear and consistent grounding that informs the positions that you do. You don't think that over the years, the lines have been blurred when one looks at what happened in the Soviet Union, what happened on the continent, many countries that professed, socialism and African nationalism, and really the focus should be on what's possible and why and how best one can do it, hopefully better than the other. Well, that very question of how best you can do what is informed by what your grounding is. We seem to have moved into, the instant coffee kind of politics where people just talk and make and give positions that are not informed by any vision of society. So as the APC, we have always said that we are a grounded party, so that when people look at what we're saying, there could be some level of authenticity, context, and trust that is not a thumbsuck. It's not looking at what others are saying and say, what can I say differently? But there is consistency, and it is something that comes from the very history of struggle that has been waged. That's why if you check there, you'll see that we're going back to the likes of Anton Lembede, Robert Sobukwe, to say the perspectives that we're pushing are not something we discovered around the bush somewhere, but it is a continuity of the struggle for a particular perspective that has not prevailed. And we are saying the politics of the Freedom Charter have, in 25 years, we believe, run their time. It's about time we look at a new perspective, at a different perspective. And that is the Africanist perspective that has not been given a chance in the country. So it was important for us to put that as a starting point. Well, the party, that is for the Freedom Charter, to whom the Freedom Charter belongs, has adopted a position that you only not too long ago you would have said was your position on the question of land, which then probably takes away from a core value that someone like you would have been proud, to call their own. But that too has gotten out of your hands. Well, look, I think the majority party speaks with forked tongues. It depends what the audience is. But you're agreeing with it in terms of what it is doing in Parliament right now? Well, look, we support any move that seeks to bring the land question to the center. As the APC, we don't talk about expropriation of land because it talks to a piecemeal approach. We are saying we want the land to be nationalized and socialized, meaning that the land must be in the hand of the state as the custodian, but it must be in the hands of the people to be able to access and utilize it, to ensure that patriarchy and backwardness, corruption, do not disadvantage certain segments of society like women, the working class. We can ensure that there's equity, there is management, there is monitoring, and everybody has access to land. So yes, everybody is talking about land, which is good. We're happy about that. We're not frustrated. We're happy that it is there. But we need to then move into the finer details of ensuring that it is not just talk, but it can deliver something substantive to the majority of our people.
You talk also on your manifesto that is a capable state. How different is your, I mean, of course, with all the inquiries going on now, we know what has happened in this country, but what are you putting on the table as an alternative to how the state should be run? And is it different from the DA that was here that talks pretty much about the same thing?
Absolutely, and very, very substantively. Well, in the first instance, we're talking about the need for government to have effective and efficient administrative processes. But secondly, and very differently as the APC, we are saying we need to reconceptualize the state in terms of the relationship of the bureaucracy and the masses. We need to ensure that organs of people's power or the state must serve the people and not the other way around. And people
but
must.
That's what they are supposed to do even now, except they are being corrupted and so on. But are you saying, are you going to do anything differently from the way it is?
Yeah, very much so. I mean, look, if you look at all governments in Africa, they are following the same colonial pattern. If you look at the relationship between government and the people, there's a big distance. What we're saying as the APC is that you need to empower the people more. You need to introduce social audits where the people are able to audit government performance in terms of services that are being delivered, so that the state government must not be afraid of the people, must not become alien to the people. And I think Burkina Faso did this very well under Thomas Sankara, and in 4 years, they were able to achieve the kind of progress that we have not achieved in 25 years. So when we say a capable state, it is substantively and ideologically very different from what every other person is talking about.
Okay. So that's why we're going to leave it for today. And thanks very much for coming through. African People's Convention leader Themba Godi.